Hi, so my name is Gwen. I'm with Avalon Visions Center for Creative Spirituality, and it's a little tiny bit earlier than I wanted to, but I'm not going to be here tomorrow because I'm doing something. So I'm going to go ahead and launch my YouTube channel today. That's right. We're doing kind of a podcast, and I don't know exactly how many times we'll come up on a week, but we're kind of working out the schedule. I'm thinking it's probably going to be maybe Wednesday nights for the most part. Um, and with that, just so you know, we're going to have people that we're going to talk to, interviews, and things like that. It's coming up. We may do live, we may do some screen shares. I'm not sure how to do all of some of that, but I'm going to figure it out because I figure it all out. Anyway, so I loaded up a lot of content today, and one of the things I loaded up was when we moved Odin out of my office back when we had red curtains. Let's change that. We've changed and updated our decor in the store. So anyway, people have asked me what is creative spirituality, and honestly, it's whatever you really want it to be. So I came up with a little list, and just kind of read it. I did put it in our header, but here it is. If you think about it, we have a kind of a maze in our lives. We kind of don't know where to begin. Sometimes we tap into our creative selves, sometimes we don't. But when we peck away at tapping into our creative selves, we start to discover things. Some of us use dream boards, some people listen to singing bowls, some people just travel in spiritual circles, other people build fairy gardens or do art. There's all kinds of ways you can tap into your spiritual side, and they really do help you tap into your creative pathway, which open up your spirituality. And that's the beginning of understanding true magic and how that works in our lives. So here is a quick little checklist on what you might find out about yourself to figure out that you might actually already be practicing creative spirituality. So I did put it up on our description, but it's kind of more complete than that. Do you talk to your pets, or do they talk to you? You might be creatively spiritual if you do that. Do you listen or talk to crystals? Oh, come on, admit it. You've talked to a rock at least once. Do you listen or talk to plants? When one gets a little leaf that's not so good, you go like, oh, die on me, right? Or, oh, you look good today. You might be creatively spiritual if you do that. Have you ever made a vision board? That's a fun way to open up your creative paths. Have you ever written down what you wanted in a lover or future spouse, just thinking about what it would be like to be with the person that made you feel good? You might be practicing a little deep magic there. Do you ever feel the urge to redecorate or decorate a new space, like your house, just to make the energy feel better because you don't like the vibe anymore? You're energy sensitive. You might be creatively spiritual. Have you ever gone to a reader or a healer to kind of get a different take? It's kind of like going to a counselor. Sort of, they talk back though. I think counselors do a little of that too, but might be a little creatively spiritual. Have you ever, or do you own, have you ever played with, or do you own a tarot deck or an oracle deck or runes, or do you ever use like a pendulum? You might be creatively spiritual. Do you ever pick out clothes that you feel just represent you? Maybe the color for the day. Ooh, you might be playing with your aura if you're doing that. Like, I don't know what it says about me. I'm wearing black right now, but I think that's more a laundry thing. But I had to put on a colorful shirt. See, colorful. It's got some color to it. It's a bit grounded, kind of presentable. Also, black is slimming, but we won't go there. However, you might be creatively spiritual if you just go like, oh, today I feel like being in a purple. Okay, purple's pretty creative. It's pretty spiritual. It's right up there in your crown chakra. There you go. Do you spend a little time sometimes out there in maybe nature, pondering the wonders of the universe in which we live? Do you feel like this is amazing? How far off is that sky? What's up there in those stars? You might be a little creatively spiritual. This, of course, is not a complete list by any measure. but it does represent sort of a smattering of the everyday things that ordinary people do in order to creatively maneuver on their spiritual paths. Without even realizing it, there are a few samples of activities that represent individuals' unique views of the world. Like you could be politically active, you could be somebody that just absolutely feels like caretaking is the best thing in the world. You could be a mom. That's pretty darn spiritual. The connection with the child is so deep. Some people feel that with their pets. Maybe it's not the same thing, one can argue, but I don't know. You ever met a crazy cat lady? Because I'm kind of a crazy cat lady. Like harm one hair, a furry little thing that runs around in my house, or one feather on one of my 2 parrots. So when it comes to religions, there's a lot of religions out there. One may fit you better than another. Some people like a very direct path with religion. Some people really have to be told what time to get up, where to worship, how to worship, what they need to do to get right with God or get right with the goddess. I'm not one of those people. Like, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do it my own way. That's me being creatively spiritual. Some of us find that the mainstream paths just don't work for us. And see, I'm kind of one of them. I seek out answers from traditional sources sometimes. Sometimes it's from science, sometimes it's from nature, sometimes it's from, old texts, sometimes it's from new texts, sometimes it's just from my friends who tend to be pretty wise, a lot of them. But, if it doesn't, nothing really quite fits and you have sort of an open sort of mind about what feels right to you, you're working with your creativity, and that really is the life force and the magic that flows through us. There are things that cause some of us to just float through religions throughout our lives, where we get into one thing, and the next thing we're into Buddhism, then we're into Pentecostalism, and then we're into, no, I'm not into those things. But I mean, people do float from one religion to another. I've met people like that, where they started over here and they moved over here and they went back over here. I can, without naming names, there are some big name people who went from being extremely New Age all the way into being very Christian. I know a few. They wrote tarot decks. I'm not going there though. But hey, it happens. People go from one thing to another because they're really looking for their own spiritual path. And some things fit for a while, and later on they don't. So they're really playing with their creative forces. And maybe some of it's a good thing, some of it's a bad thing, but you pick and choose. That's your path. Jobs and careers get switched when those things happen. And we don't always settle on a path that feels like home. Some of us just have to be a little more creative, and we have to build and always change up and recreate in order to fit who we are. Some of us can settle in. Some people are told to meditate and exercise and work, but the truth paths sometimes in those cases remain a bit elusive until you tap in and go like, wait a minute, I can do that while still being spiritual. Religion doesn't always bring out the childlike joy of existence into the everyday drudgery of our lives. But sometimes, if you allow yourself to play, that does. So one person might consider themselves to be a Catholic, but they aren't quite sure that women not being priests is a good thing. So here they are aligned with Catholicism, but they want to be a priest. So, there's variations on how we do things. No two people see religion the same, or they don't see their own spiritual paths the same. So basically, for people who are a little bit self-aware, this does kind of illustrate the point of creative spirituality. If we think about it, we all practice sort of a unique belief system, and the inner workings of our own minds kind of don't let us actually be the same as any other person. We can be close, but we don't really hold identical beliefs. We can hold similar beliefs, and in which case we find people in our community. If you can relate to this, you will probably like the videos that we share on a thing. I had help with coming up with the slogan when I was first doing it. I want to actually thank the person whose name I can't think of right now because I do that with names. But we were trying to come up with something to kind of describe what we do at Avalon. And I think what we do is we help people experience their light in order to create their community. And we kind of played around a lot with different things. And I probably am ultimately the one that coined that, but I had some help. I needed the help of my friends to build that kind of essence of what it was that we were doing. And so I believe that with help from friends and batting ideas off of everybody else, it really does help to bring about self-realization. In other words, it's always okay to look for help and look for community. And so here at Avalon Visions, we do that. And we also kind of help others get there. I own Avalon Visions, which was a shop for a long time and where we had readers, and we moved here to our new location on Porter Street in SoCal. And in this place, we have readers, and we kind of changed it to a center because we have a shop area. And then we also have reading rooms and a place where you can have some Reiki and different things, and more of a group room. So what we do here is we definitely allow people to be themselves. We don't tell people how to do things, generally speaking. We give them ideas. If someone has a problem, we try to help them work it out. We don't always succeed, but we do succeed to some degree. Anyway, that's what we do here. And we help others get there, I hope. So look forward to having you guys comment. I'm going to be loading up a number of videos with my cats and my parents, so you can go through some of those videos. And then I'll probably also be loading up more videos, kind of transferring them from Facebook over to the YouTube channel, just so that they're where they don't get deleted. Why is that? Because I do live broadcasts on Facebook sometimes, and it's kind of fun to do that. I don't know how to do it as easily on YouTube, but I probably can. But Facebook seems to load in pretty easily, versus sometimes it's harder for me to get to the studio setting here on YouTube. But I'm going to be moving some videos around so that there's a lot of content on here. There already is a number of videos. So anyway, I would love it if you like the videos that you see. If you like them, subscribe. Subscribing is really helpful. And since we're just launching, today is a good day. So tomorrow will be better. It's always better. You just have to look for when it's better. There are no bad days. There are just days that feel like they're bad. Remember that, because really there's always silver linings. So silver linings it is. Enjoy, and have a good week, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Don't know what with, but a little bit. And somewhere in here is a way to end the stream. Oh, I'm learning. I just found the end stream thing. Have a great day. Bye.